days continued to pass, but Elisa's unease only grew stronger. The figure in the mirror had not disappeared. If anything, he was becoming more present in her life. Every glance in the mirror seemed to bring him closer, his pale face appearing more vivid with each passing day. Elisa could no longer ignore him, nor could she escape the oppressive weight of his presence. She had stopped telling Marcus about the strange happenings, fearing he wouldn't understand. Every night she lay beside him in bed, trying to pretend everything was fine, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the mirror, no, the figure was watching her, waiting for something that she couldn't understand. One afternoon, when Marcus was out running errands, Elisa decided to do something she had been avoiding for days. She would confront the figure. She could no longer live with the constant fear gnawing at her, and the need for answers became overwhelming. She sat in front of the mirror, her reflection staring back at her, but the space behind her, empty and cold, felt different. Elisa stared into the glass, trying to steady her breathing, to summon the courage she had been lacking. "Why are you here?" she whispered, her voice trembling, though her resolve was beginning to harden. The pale man's figure emerged slowly, his face coming into focus, his cold eyes locking with hers. "I told you, Elisa." His voice was soft, but there was a sharpness to it that made her heart race. "I am the one you left behind, the promise you never kept. You brought me here." Elisa's heart skipped a beat. She felt an unsettling chill spread through her veins as his words sank in. What promise? What had she done? "What do you mean?" Elisa asked, barely able to find her voice. "I don't remember. I don't know you." The man's expression didn't change, but his gaze intensified, as if trying to reach into her very soul. "You will," he whispered. "You will remember everything. You cannot escape me, Elisa, not now, not ever." The air in the room grew cold, and the faint outline of the man seemed to stretch and distort. Elisa shivered, but there was something else in her heart, a flicker of recognition. She wasn't sure how, but she felt connected to this man. She felt like she had always known him, like he had been a part of her life long ago. Suddenly, a memory flashed through her mind, one that had been buried deep within her subconscious. A memory of a man, a promise made in the dark of night, but everything else was hazy, just out of reach. The more she focused on it, the more it slipped away. The pale man watched her closely, his lips curling into a faint smile. "You remember now, don't you?" His voice was like silk, smooth and intoxicating. "We were together once, Elisa. You promised me your love, your soul. You sealed it with a kiss, but you forgot me. You forgot your promise." Elisa's mind was racing. She couldn't make sense of it all. Who was this man? Why did she feel like she should know him? The room around her seemed to spin as the lines between reality and something darker began to blur. She tried to turn away, but her body wouldn't obey her. She couldn't look away. She was trapped. "You need me, Elisa," the man's voice urged, now louder, more insistent. "You can't live without me. You can't escape your past. Not while I'm here. I will make you remember everything." Elisa's breath quickened, panic rising in her chest. She wanted to run, to scream, but the words were caught in her throat. She felt as though she were drowning in the depths of a memory. She couldn't recall but knew she couldn't escape. Just as the tension in the room reached its breaking point, the door to the bedroom opened. Marcus entered, his voice cutting through the oppressive silence. "Hey, Elisa, I'm back." "What's—" He froze mid-sentence, his eyes locking on her and then moving to the mirror. The pale man's figure seemed to shimmer for a moment before vanishing completely. Elisa snapped out of her trance-like state, her body trembling as she turned to face Marcus. What happened?" Marcus asked, his brow furrowed with concern. He stepped closer to her, but Elisa backed away, her mind reeling from the encounter. I don't know," she whispered. "There was someone in the mirror. He said I made a promise. I don't remember, Marcus. I don't know what it means, but I feel like I can't get away from him. Like he's—" She trailed off, her voice faltering. Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder, his expression softening. "Elisa, you're tired. Maybe it's stress from the wedding, or maybe—" "No, Marcus," Elisa interrupted, her voice shaking. "It's not that. I swear something's wrong with that mirror. That man? He's real." Marcus hesitated, then looked at the mirror. For a long moment neither of them spoke, but Elisa could feel the weight of the man's presence, lurking just behind the glass, waiting. The days that followed were a blur for Elisa. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was losing her mind. Marcus, though concerned, tried to reassure her. He suggested they take a short vacation, maybe get away from the house for a while, but Elisa knew it wouldn't make a difference. The presence of the pale man was now etched in her mind, and the mirror had become a constant reminder of the promise she couldn't recall.